Welcome back. That was the celebrations of the 55th anniversary with Kuwait TV. I'm here with our second guest for tonight, Farouq Abdul-Aziz. He's a writer and producer. Hello and welcome to our show for tonight.
Hello to you.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Can we start off with the anniversary, as we just saw for Kuwait TV, and the different things we've been accomplishing throughout the 55 years?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's very much a worthy occasion to be celebrated because Kuwait television has gone a very long way from it started. Goes back to 1961 at the second television, the first television in the Gulf region and in the Arabian Peninsula, and the second television in the Arab world. And it's a history that ought to be celebrated really and reevaluated. Reevaluated. I lived in a period when the television, Kuwait television, was its height, namely the 80s, the 70s and the 80s. These are like 20 years.
And what do we see, and how do we see it right now, the current situation?
Well, the current situation it's picking up. I must say that. I must say so. I mean, it needs more work. It needs to go the distance in order to be much more competitive with at least with the Gulf region.
And what sort of things should we focus on mainly in order to advance and maybe pick up, as you said, where we were maybe back in the days when it was in the 70s and 80s?
Well, I would say, first of all, local production has to come back at full throttle, really. Local production, television in those days was producing itself, producing studios in 500 and 800, they were producing dramas there, and now they are commissioning, of course, but we need more of the local production because this is the taste that you sell in the area.
And this is what we're representing abroad.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Number two, you need to focus on various shows that are relating to a modern generation. I mean, this late generation, you need shows pertaining to music, classical music, film, of course, and we'll come to that now. And ballet, we have now the opera here.
Yes.
House, for God's sake. So we need to produce shows that at that level to be more competitive and to be a classical symphony orchestra, for instance.
Yes. And how do you feel that the advancement of technology right now could help us and boost back Kuwait TV?
Kuwait TV is all geared up to advance, to take a stride. A huge stride with the technology it owns now at the moment. And there are some good artists I met with some graphic artists, that is.
Wow.
Yeah, it needs to focus more on promotion. It needs to create attention, public attention about certain shows by promoting them over the day at certain hours, at intervals, and all that sort of thing. And this is lacking indeed.
And how do you feel that social media right now is working on that part of the advertisement to the different shows, the episodes, maybe series as well? And as you said, there are certain things, maybe dramas or plays, that they should focus more on.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it works for television, for the new television who are aiming to bring back, revitalize Kuwait television, to go back to the height where it was. The most important thing is that you can, with promotional material like 2 minuters, 1.5 minute or something like that, they are distributed. They should be distributed over the social media. They create awareness of shows that you are and the valuable shows which have an input, a real input to be distributed to the public. I'm sure using the public media, the social networks will work for Kuwait television. But let's focus on promotions, on new shows, unconventional shows, and let's set a standard for our production to be competitive at least with the best of the Gulf region, at least.
When you say new shows, what sort of topics would you like to see? And can you give us an idea, because you're a producer yourself, so you could give us some sort of ideas, maybe how the script would go, the outline of a new program?
Well, certainly. I mean, there's, I would say you need shows with young people. For instance, I meet a lot of cineasts, aspiring cineasts who are trying to produce short films either documentaries or fiction. And they need an outlet in order to express themselves. I actually was approached by television to produce a show for those, which I'm intending to do actually on Channel 2. You need to be in the local market, shopping for new ideas from the younger generations, rather than me imposing on television what to do. For instance, we have very talented in Kuwait, very talented musicians, very talented people who are recognized actually on the Arab level and even on the international level. We need to approach those and find what works they are doing, and then we listen to them, and we get more closely at close ranks with their products. We need also to find one show that I'm proposing actually is to find new stars of society. New star. When I refer to stars actually, because I am so rigid about definition of a star. Star is not a film star, as we know, like actress or actor or something. For me, this is second-rate star. The star should be the people who are inventing or creating new areas to contribute to society, and those we can find in Kuwait, I'm sure, at the scientific club. For instance, the Science Club, and you can find in more than one area, you have people who are inventing things, who are creating stuff that we don't know anything about. Actually, because the media focuses on the regular star of film or television. I don't think that those are stars. Fine, with all respect, this number two. But number one, the people who are contributing to society. And those are unknown. We should focus on them. We should create shows for them. And this will
highlight maybe more on their role in the society itself.
Yeah, social criteria for stardom will change virtually if we present those people. This is one couple of ideas.
Yes. Can you tell us more about the collaboration you have with El Sarousi?
Oh yes. With this very yesterday, by the way, I mean he was introducing his book on the history of Kuwait television from 61 to 85. His history with Kuwait television, which happened to be
That's very interesting. I feel that I want to read it, and I'm sure a lot of our audience would want to grab a book itself.
Oh yes, very intensive, and with the stories and his contribution to Kuwait television. Actually, I have a history with Kuwait television that extends to 16 to 20 years. So in a history of 55 years, or perhaps 56 years, I own 20.
Wow.
Myself. Mr. Sanusi introduced me when we met. I was visiting Kuwait, and it just happened that we met, and I was producing a show and introducing also a show on Egyptian television called Film Archive, from the archives of cinema. And he proposed that I join the film club here to start as a manager establishing the film club society here, which contributed really to the film culture in this country and in the Gulf.
And what sort of activities or films and even like different episodes and series that you worked on from this club?
Right. I was running the film club, that's one thing, and then he proposed that I introduce a show on television, the cinema club show. Actually, I was like reluctant to do it, and they kept from 1977, that's when we met, and until 79, find excuses for myself to travel around to film festivals. I have been attending film festivals like crazy.
Yeah, so you procrastinated for 2 years, and after that, how did it go?
What happened, by September 15th in 1979, I was leaving to the next States for 45 days. And he said, I was telling him, okay, Abu Tariq, I'm leaving to the States, and said, look, here. You promised me since 77 now, 2 years, and you keep promising and not delivering. Now it's the time that you prove that we are friends, and we are good friends, because we became like very close, family stuff. And I said, yeah, okay. The second day I brought to him 3 episodes written, and I said, give that to one of the announcers, the ladies, choose anyone, and she will introduce the show. I will write. Also, I'm a mind travel.
Yeah.
And the second day, he had a test for the lady, and he called me and he said, come down here. So I went to the office, and he said that you with this finger. He gave me the finger, the pointer. You will introduce it. I said, but no. He said, no buts. You will introduce it, and it's already signed by the minister, Sheikh Jabir Al-Ali, and already endorsed the show, your show. So I did it. I did it from start as of October. I delayed my travel to US, and I did it. So
and it was completely worth it, wasn't it?
It's very much so. I mean, he was the first one. He's a great guy, actually, because he knows people, and he knows the point of strength and weaknesses in characters. He's a great character analyzer.
Himself.
Yes, and he would know that you can do this, you cannot do this, and he's very straightforward. Actually,
very nice,
very straightforward and very decisive. So to the first call ever I got by 9 o'clock the following morning of the show, he said, "This was great. I love it. Let's do it." So I continued, and it continued for 15 years before the invasion, and then 1 year after, and then I come back here by 2001, 2002. Now we are planning to come back.
Very nice. And what's the news, the upcoming show that you have?
Okay, so I'm first of all, everybody is telling me that please keep the same music, because it's the fourth movement of the Antonin Dvorak Symphony of the New World, number 9, and I love the music, of course, because not only because I choose it. I mean, this is the first ever that I listened to an orchestra in my life live. I was like in the university the first time to go a live orchestra in Cairo, and I was fascinated by that music. That's why I used it. But anyway, we have films from all over the world coming up. Where we had meetings, and inshallah the films should arrive in hopefully in 2-3 months. Then once the films arrive, we will start the show right away. The films are open windows for the film, not only the film buffs, but the general audience in this country who like very much still remember the show. And they endear it. I go to the Waniyas here and there, and everybody say, "Why don't you bring the show back? Bring the show back." And it's my custom. I always respect national cinemas. So I present films from France, from Japan, from here and there. Not only just American films that people know. Even from America, I always present also beside the studio films. I bring from the indies, the independents, who don't have really a good chance to show their stuff worldwide. So this will be, and of course I will have a team, like 4 or 5 people dedicated to the show. Young people, young people who will, I will have a producer, we have especially for the show, we'll have a line producer, we have one who handles the films with the distributors and bringing in the films, and we'll do our own censorship before being telecast, so everything should be fine, inshallah.
Sounds so exciting, and I believe I can't wait, just so anxious to see what you're working on right now. Can you tell us more about the certain difficulties you faced throughout the years when it comes to writing and producing?
Yes, for the Cinema Club show, the main difficulty was I had problems with the censors. Because the censors, my appreciation of the films differs virtually from the censors. When the censors looks at certain points, and I believe in editing. All right, fine. We can always edit, and that's why I devised a system as early as, because they were used, the censors to cut the copy itself and the copy
and wouldn't it change the storyline itself
of course,
not make sense for
to cut the film?
audience?
Also, the distributors were complaining. I mean, we print one new print for you. I mean, it was like reels. You see, so we print one for you, and we distribute it to the rest of the Gulf stations, and then we get it cut by a scissor. And this was very primitive, really. So I devised a system that we are working on now. This was in '87, that we transfer the film material onto video, and then we do some editing by inserts. For instance, a repetition in the same scene, if there is something that not to be shown by the censor, or he doesn't agree on it, fine. So I repeat one shot.
Various
that's
times,
why to keep the dialogue, and the storyline flowing, and it worked very handsomely over the years. Now we are following the same thing. When I got back in 2001, 2002, my first condition is that I do the editing myself with a team, of course. So we did it, and it was quite successful. But the censors, The other thing is one of the major problems was the flow of quality films, because most of the distributors, they would bring films like box of apples, and you will find 2, 3 good apples, and the rest is like medium, and some mediocre. And I would tell television, don't purchase all this. I select films.
Because it's going to be a waste in the end of the day.
That's right.
Yes, so thank you so much for being here tonight with us and sharing all those useful information about your experience here and, of course, the celebrations of the 55th anniversary.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be with you, Farah, and back to Kuwait Television too.
Yes, we wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found all the reports along with the 2 interviews very useful. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Please tune in tomorrow at the same time. Welcome back. That was the celebrations of the 55th anniversary. With Kuwait TV. I'm here with our second guest for tonight, Farouq Abdul-Aziz. He's a writer and producer. Hello and welcome to our show for tonight.
Hello to you.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Can we start off with the anniversary, as we just saw for Kuwait TV, and the different things we've been accomplishing throughout the 55 years?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's very much a worthy occasion to be celebrated, because